we begin our latest adventure pretty much right after where we left off, which was having left the frozen, dead, and possibly haunted world of Kuna's Heart, or one of the worlds of the Kuna's Heart system. The question arose among the group, what do we want to do next? And it was discussed with Andro that his intention is to take the remains of his ancestor, Lantelain Cron, back to the cronies' mandate, and part and parcel of doing that, begin his effort now to take the throne that he had previously abdicated. So he's not looking to stage a revolution, hopefully not, but there is a political path that he sees that may make it possible to do that. But it certainly will not be easy. It will be potentially dangerous, and he sure could use some help. And so you all said that you would be willing to help him. And so that is where we shall begin. So, unless there's anything else that anybody wants to do, having left behind the frozen spooky place, the next order of business from Andro's perspective is, let me sit you all down and let's talk about what this actually entails. So is there anything that anybody wants to do while the ship is in flight?
Zag wants to definitely take note of this planet, and he's going to spend some time quietly in Zagrean for a change.
Okay. Take note, meaning he's going to write notes on this planet. He's going to absorb what he has seen and what has occurred.
And like its location, where we can find it later, blah, 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 blah.
Well, there are exactly 2 places where you have where you know that there is astronavigational data that will get you to that place. Yeah. 1 is on this ship.
Yep.
2 is in the hands of Doc Ondar. Those are the only 2 astronavigational databases that you know of that will be able to will allow you to navigate to this place. And in fact, the one on this ship is the only navicomputer that's actually been there. So it's actually the only reliable charted course. Updated course. So it's a very rare information indeed. Are you going to make a copy of the astrogation data, or what is your?
That's what he's hoping to do.
Okay.
I mean, he'll talk to people about it first. He's not just going to be super sneaky about all of this, but he's just like, I want to make a copy of this planet's location, and he's going to just like effectively keep a long journal about everything that he did. He probably will bug Bobkin about what he experienced as well.
All right.
Okay. Any thoughts on that? Comments? Questions?
Well, Bobkin, is quite bothered by what's been going on with himself. So, he wants to, the word meditate has been used, but
yes,
it's just meditate.
Yes.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. And just let's not do the dark thing. Let's do the light thing. And so,
yes.
Right.
He's trying to turn his obsession just to make sure that everything that he got down is like kind of just cataloged.
Yeah,
okay.
the stuff that he's been exposed to is just let's do toward the light, not the dark.
I got you, Bob.
Yeah.
So Bobkin, you will spend some time dwelling on this and meditating in your quarters. Yeah. Zag is going to spend some time kind of just catalog all this information. Zag, you make a copy of the data and store it, I assume, with your personal data pad or something.
No, personal data pads.
Okay. All right, so that's what you're doing. Sorbo, I assume, would be occupied at least some of the time in basically effecting proper repairs to the Grasshopper, based on what...
We've done a lot of like bubblegum and baling wire sort of stuff to try and get this going. As quick as we can, we'll upgrade this. Or
Yeah.
We're gonna upgrade that bubble gum to duck.
That's right.
The-
Yes.
So, going over the grasshopper and making sure that it's not going to accidentally fall apart, mid-transit.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I'm not sure. Like, he doesn't have a lot to contribute to the political side of things. So any planning sessions are going to be. He'll be there just so he knows where to stand and what he's supposed to do.
Okay.
So he'll listen in on conversations that Andros is having. He'll ask pertinent questions from like a security standpoint.
Right.
But I don't think that he's going to contribute a lot of like, well, here's how you should convince these people. Here's how you should try and sway the populace.
Right. So, but potentially from a tactical standpoint, or just like here's where, like you say, here's where I should stand. I mean, again, like he said, this is part of it is he's very rusty on this. He's been spent the last 10 years working as a salvage operator, so he's very rusty on this political stuff too, and is kind of trying to exercise those muscles and remember how those things work. But also, he's also still mindful of the fact that, look, regardless of who does the talking, this is also a dangerous exercise. These are, in many cases, people who may not want to talk to us, and of course, there's the crony security forces who will not want us to be there if they get wind of this. So it's a tricky thing. So he needs muscle too. So that is, that's understood. Let's see. Xerxes and Lena, is there anything else you wanted to do specifically before we get into the planning here?
I mean, Xerxes, as a medic, nobody got hurt, so he's not really doing anything with that. I think Xerxes is probably working with Andro closely. Like, this is his home, this is his life, this is his, this is his country, basically. He's kind of trying to get a better sense of who Andro is, because this guy's going to be the king.
Yeah. Well, again, to give you an assessment of that, he does seem a little rusty on not only the politics but also the current events of the Mandate, because he hasn't been back there. He's heard everything he's heard has been secondhand. Yeah. He certainly is. One of the things that you catch on quickly is one of the main points of contention that started this whole thing was that he was not. I mean, he wasn't interested in the Jedi per se and the Force, but he certainly was not anti-Jedi and did not believe the anti-Jedi rhetoric that was rising in the Mandate even before the end of the Clone Wars. But that was between his brother and his father, who's now deceased, that was his main point of contention early on. And then just over their overall conservative nature. He is generally a more reformist-minded man, and to the extent that circumstances in his life allowed him to push those things, he did. But frankly, when he was a young man, he kind of had a case of the fuckets, and he basically just said, I'm tired of trying to change the system. Nobody listens to me. Nobody is listening to me. The conservative elements were too strong at the time. And he just basically said, I am just going to live my life, and just kind of retreated. Which, ironically, is the reason he met Lodicom, because if he hadn't been hanging out in the Summer Palace by himself all the time sulking, he wouldn't have met Lodicom. But that also is why he kind of wasn't involved in retreating from the politics of the Mandate.
He was brooding, not sulking.
He was brooding. You're absolutely right. He was brooding. Sorry, I don't mean to use the wrong term. It might offend him. But again,
I'd
going
like a way to just actually talk to the narrator.
Yes, exactly. Yes. It'll be
Speaking of Lena,
it'll be fine. It's fine. It's not my fault. It was his fault.
So Lena is probably going to be trying to, and this might go along with what Xerxes is doing, is going to be trying to get an idea of who are the players here, who do we hate? But she keeps getting distracted by stories. So
Yes.
he starts to talk about well, my uncle who this. Oh, oh, like when did you do that, or like how, like what do you mean, like, and so it's mostly just like his family.
Yeah. And then I did orbital diving, and it's just like, oh, that sounds cool. What was that like? What is it like becoming a meteor? So he interspersed with all of his brooding, he tells various stories of things he was doing to distract himself at the time. Something that you two get together, kind of talking over it, and Xarxes, you can kind of volunteer part of this from your perspective, is, and I mentioned this a little bit, he is a little bit out of touch with the way things are in the mandate, and if anything, the thing that you have to supply to him,
I would like to wake him up to that.
Yeah. The thing is, he's like, things have gotten worse. Like, things have, like, the environment of the planets have got, many of the industrial planets is just completely collapsed. It's, there is rampant poverty. It's not good in many places. Not in every planet in the mandate, but it's not good in a lot of places. But yeah, so Lena, you managed to, from your part, like, just hearing the stories, you think you get a pretty good sense of, I mean, you've obviously, been hanging around Andro longer than Xarxes has, but in terms of, like, his concerns and what kind of, king he would be, you're fairly certain, like, if anything, he has gotten more, his experiences in life in the greater galaxy have made him more of a man of the people, if you will, than he was even before. So he may have been a little bit spoiled before he left the mandate. Obviously, the years of life outside have kind of beaten that out of him.
His competition for the throne, at least the person that's trying to take it, is his uncle, correct? Not his brother?
No. His brother is on the throne.
Okay.
The person you've been dealing with, Prince Darrow, is actually his nephew.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Who is basically just protecting the family, but also has his own mind on his own future.
Gotcha.
But neither you.
Andro is the rightful heir. He gave it up. His brother currently.
He is the one who should have gotten it, and who originally was kind of considered to be a foregone conclusion that he would get it, but he stepped aside, and then the conclave of nobility met and said, okay, well, we'll pick his brother.
How is the brother on the throne? Is he part of the reason that there's rampant poverty and things, or is he just kind of incompetent? Yeah,
for Xarxes will fill in the blanks on that. I mean, he's a full and enthusiastic supporter of the Empire. That is in part just seems to be his generally where his politics lie, but also, and this is something that is known to anybody in the Crony's defense forces, Crony security forces, that he's basically like, we need to make sure that we're running a tight ship so the Empire doesn't come in and get in our business. So he sees himself potentially as someone who's protecting the mandate from greater Imperial interference, but he also believes in what the Empire is doing. He was, back in the day, vehemently anti-Jedi, which is kind of, again, part of the play for Andro. And he has turned the Crony security forces from, let's say, an over-enthusiastic security force to a full-on secret police.
Gotcha.
So he's not a good fellow.
Yeah. No love lost getting him off the throne.
Not really. So everybody shows up. Oh wait, where's Savi? He shows up too, I believe. There he is. Savi's still on the ship. Remember that?
Oh right, I forgot we had a kid.
Yes, you have a kid. So Andro assembles everybody in the common room to kind of talk through this thing, and to let you know what his plan, how it actually works. The idea here, again, as I mentioned before, is to leverage the return of my ancestor's remains and giving him a proper burial into, well, A, my reintroduction to the nobility, and B, making it subtly known that I believe that a change is needed on the throne. A key point here is the truth that you have discovered about Lantelain's actual life and his role in the Jedi Order. And in fact, in my opinion, from what I've gathered from what you've shown me, his heroic role in sacrifice and in performing this service, guarding this lonely outpost for the Jedi. The thing you have to understand about the nobility and the mandate in general, but especially the nobility, is that we have a very strong sense of honoring our ancestors and building on what they left behind. Very much of our entire notion of honor, which is very strong, is built around that.
I mean, I'm not here to throw like a hitch in the plan, but your brother's focused on just making sure the Empire doesn't get involved. If you come in and are like, "Hey, we had this family member who was a heroic Jedi," like, I mean, that's kind of a signal flare, isn't it?
Well, that's why we're not going to share that with the general public. The only people who really need to know are the nobility.
I mean, where it was. Hey, Zag, do the nobility shut up about things?
Probably not.
Just saying.
They'll keep their mouths shut about this if it is in their best interest. So this is, believe me, they keep a lot of secrets already. None of them wants the Empire in the mandate's business. That's absolutely true. But they also, from what I am gathering, are almost assuredly not happy in what I already knew of with Robert's rule and the way he is doing things. So what I propose is that this may be
so you're going to walk
on
in
the
and be
download.
like, "Hey, I know you don't really like my brother. I'll come back and do it, but also don't say anything"?
Well, the notion that we have a Jedi in our heritage is, because of Robert's statements, is bad for him, but it doesn't need to leave the nobility. Because it would mean that he is not honoring his ancestors, whereas I propose that we would.
Are we threatening him?
It's more that we're pushing the nobility towards
threatening him?
A vote of no confidence.
That seems like a threat.
Don't say the subtext out loud.
Shit. This is why I don't talk to nobility.
Well, guess what? You might have to before this is all over. Like I said, it's dangerous. And I'm not saying that I have all these bases covered, but I can tell you that what I knew from before I left and from what I'm hearing, I am fairly certain that Robert has not made any friends in my absence.
And you still have friends?
Yes. And family members that I believe I can rely on.
Okay. What about Prince, I don't know, Dickhead?
Prince Darrow.
There we go.
Well, the way he goes, he will follow his father's lead, as far as I've seen of him.
Are you sure about that, sire? He seems to be very proactive about ensuring his eventual rule. Plus, he has a minion, a
Bodyguard.
criminal bodyguard that follows him. That I would assume this person also has their eyes on a larger prize down the road.
We have a Sorbo.
You do have a Sorbo. And you also, by the way, have a guy who now has a lightsaber.
Yeah.
And a guy who can move things around with his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't register to Lena as much.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's an old thing. It's some old thing.
He's got a fancy flashlight.
Yeah. I take your point, Xarxes, and I suspect that Darrow will be a problem. Thus far, he hasn't struck me as particularly clever, but
Do you call him dumb?
It's his assistants that are the brains of that operation.
But that guy could go away.
Well, this is why I asked for your help. What do you propose that we do about Darrow?
That guy could go away.
I don't think we can just ask him to stop.
Will no one rid me of this troublesome priest?
Ask is probably not.
He's got the criminal guy that I have a personal vendetta with, and then he also has a droid that seemed to be a lot of his. He was a lot of the brains out of the trio.
Elena looks around for droids.
No offense to any droids, but like,
Not these droids, not these ones. He was much more sophisticated, much higher end. He was able to speak multiple languages and was, I'm pretty sure, checking my heart rate.
but aren't they programmable? Like, why put your eggs in a programmable basket?
That's a good question. But is that something you guys can do?
Sorbo, can you hack a droid?
I'm better at building. I can give it a shot, but I'm not
If you
the best.
unbuild him,
The quick way with that is with bullets, though. And that's kind of the preferred method he goes with.
That
Shape
makes
charge.
it harder.
Quick is shape charge. Bullets are slower.
Ah,
Indeed.
If I can make a suggestion, sire, those that your nephew Prince Darrow he seems to be interested in power, but those that follow him seem to be more interested in wealth than power. Given their their subservient positions to him. Maybe we could buy some of them off.
I think he gave us all his money.
Yeah, money is unfortunately something I have in short supply right now.
But you could offer them something to take the throne.
He has a point. People like power. Just offer more power than Darrow offers?
or better.
Or well, I'm saying not offer power. Offer a payoff basically to abandon it.
Well, again, you're saying this would have to be money that was guaranteed after I were to gain the throne. So an IOU is what you're proposing?
Well, favors, not necessarily everything in wealth.
So,
It's possible.
so,
So,
So-
sorry to go
so-
back to it. Oh, go for it.
so, you are looking to be on the throne, and there are a few people who are in your way, and you need those people to not be in your way. And so the easiest way to not have those
Okay,
people
Bobkin,
be in your
Bobkin,
way.
you were just talking about being on the light side. No, for real. You were just talking about being on the light side. We're not going to
How many of these people are not? There are people who are in your way. How many of these people are we talking about?
Really, the
Just
main
the
one is the
brother.
nephew
Mhm.
and the brother that's on the throne.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
technically speaking, the one that's in the way of him taking the throne is his brother.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But
Politically speaking, his nephew is also a factor.
An obstacle.
So let's talk about that.
We are.
Yes.
So,
And so what are the options to remove these people without being murderers?
Well, it sounds like we could maybe talk the nobility into not backing his brother, and that doesn't seem like the worst part of it.
It doesn't seem possible either.
Well, I don't know. I don't really know how rich people work. But doesn't Darrow need your brother out of the way too?
Technically, but it is his father we're talking about. And again, he lives very much in the shadow of his father. I have never known Darrow to be able to stand up to Robert.
Okay, I'm not a reader, really, but I have definitely seen some, whatever the Star Wars equivalent of, like, stage plays are.
Yes.
Killing
Holo novels.
is not an unusual one, just saying.
It's possible. Certainly. It's happened before in history, but generally speaking, when we are to honor our ancestors, then patricide is generally frowned upon, and those rulers tend not to last very long.
Well, nobody makes it obvious.
That's
like
true.
Slipping some poison, or
But if he
has a bad accent.
let me put it this way: if he were to do that, he could have done it already. My presence has absolutely nothing to do with that one way or another.
Fair point.
And he's still kind of riding on his father's coattails. He doesn't have to have full responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
How much, as a just out of character question, how much status would he lose if his father was no longer ruling?
Oh, he would lose a significant amount of status.
Okay.
But I mean, it's not that he would be kicked out of the nobility. What usually happens is that if someone does not end up gaining the throne, it's again somewhat similar to the British system. They will just gain some other title to say, "Here's your booby prize,"
which is why he's a prince now.
Right. He would become a duke.
His dad's not king.
He would become a duke of something or other, and guaranteed income, guaranteed land. Here's your planet. Here's your moon. Live off that. That's pretty much the way it works. So it is a question. The thing is, and Zag, this is particularly, and Xerxes, particularly for you, you actually have a better, maybe current assessment of Darrow than he does, because you've seen him, not long ago. He saw him when he was a teenager. And, there are certain things. What do you know about Darrow? Well, you know that he had his own private yacht, which he tooled around in.
Yeah, he likes to party.
He likes to party. He's a big fan of recreational activities involving, expensive sports equipment. So he fancies himself a big game hunter of rare animals. So those are the things you know about him. And again, he loves a good bit of liquor. So that's what you know. And you know that he caught wind of this thing involving the orrery. Mainly, it seems, through his personal manservant droid.
Yeah.
So that's what you know of him. But is he the wild card in this equation? Yes, he is the wild card.
Yeah.
Like Robert is a known quantity. He's kind of, to some extent, stuck in the office. Being king, he's worried about things that are far outside the mandate. So it would be fair to say he's a little bit distracted in that way. And also he's a known quality of the nobility, and from all of what you all know so far and what he knows, what Andro knows, he is not well liked. So Andro at least is confident that he can start to build a power base of like-minded nobles that will be willing to back his claim, not immediately, but as after the remains of Lantelain Cron are returned. And by the way, that's the other side of this, that he will be. It is a major act of service to return the remains of a lost family member. This will be, again, like returning with the urn. Well, it is. It's returning with the remains. It's returning with proof of your ancient ancestor was thought lost 1,000 years ago. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So that will go a long way with them. Not all of them, but many of them.
Yeah.
So, I suppose then if your intention is to undermine simply to undermine the king and then force a crisis later on, we should prepare for an attack on ourselves. We should be waiting for them to make the first move.
Well, I'd like to, as I said, like to do this as quietly as possible. But yes, I think that we should expect potentially from Robert's forces, but also from Darrow, some kind of retaliation or attempt to silence us, specifically to silence me. My intention, rather than go around and contact all of these nobles myself, because that would be increasing the odds of being discovered, would be to contact them surreptitiously through third-party contacts.
Ooh.
And that's where I think that you all could very much help me. Because there are some... Well, I have a great aunt who's the Duchess in one of the Worlds of the Mandate. And she holds a lot of sway. And she always liked me a great deal. And I think that she should be able to help contact some of the nobility. But some of the members of the Mandate are less traditional. And perhaps a bit more independent-minded. And that's, I think, where you come in.
I don't follow. We, taking them on a smuggle?
Nope. You're just going to deliver messages. Just get them to come to this meeting.
Why do you make that sound like something that is harder than it sounds like?
Well, I suspect that they will... Number one, it has to be done quietly. Number two, I suspect that they will not all be entirely cooperative.
Cool. I mean, I dig you. I do. Why would you think that we're good at this?
Well, Lena, you're quite charming when you put your mind to it.
I'm fucking adorable, but I don't talk to rich people.
And that's all right. We can figure it out.
I'm gonna need a new hat.
Yeah.
So the two things that
There's a montage. It's fine.
Yes, the two things that I see needing your help with are contacting these people and also helping provide security for this meeting. Unless you have an alternate idea, I'm certainly willing to hear it.
All right, who's a good distance away? Sorbo and I are taking the grass off.
Yes, no, that you could definitely split up and do that if you want. But no, so that's what he wants to do. If you have alternate thoughts, by all means, provide them.
First question is, what location are we? Or do you have something in mind, or do we need to find something?
Sure.
Thank you.
So here's the Cronies Mandate. The capital of the Cronies Mandate is, and this should appear, there we go, is Chandar. That's where Robert would be. And unless he's tooling around the galaxy getting drunk, that's where Darrow would be. I want to hold the meeting on Delirium, which is actually where the Summer Palace is, but the Summer Palace, according to my information, has been effectively shut down and run by droids, just keeping it up since my departure. No one goes there. It's been effectively locked up. I very much doubt they are keeping that much of an eye on it. Certainly something we can check. But it is an area that is known to all the people we'd be contacting.
So we're definitely going to need more security than just the 5 of us.
That is a distinct possibility. These are the worlds that I know are, the systems that I know are fairly loyal. In fact, the nobility is fairly loyal to Robert. So I'm not expecting to contact any of them directly at this juncture. They may change their minds later, but I want to get these other groups on my side before I begin to contact them.
Okay.
The ones I do want to contact are these. And in particular, those kind of aforementioned ones that are, a little bit independently minded, that I would want you to contact. There's the world of Algor, which is a dry place. It's colloquially known as Liar's World, but that's really a little bit unfair. There are people, culture who very much value debate, almost to a fault. They will argue for hours over the smallest thing. They have, instead of playing board games, they literally just shout at each other across a bar table or any other public venue for entertainment. They can be a bit difficult, but they are also, as I say, very independent-minded, and they have no love of Robert or the Throne of the Mandate. There's also...
I'd like to go there with Lana. Or Lena, sorry.
I'm not a yeller. Usually.
Oh, you could be, though, dear. You're quite charming when you do it.
Hey, I don't think that's the purpose of yelling.
There's also two others. There's the world of Corliss, which is quite the opposite of Algor. It's a very wet world. It actually has a number of less than legal activities that flow in and out of the planet. It's something of a pirate haven. But again, they are pirates who trace their ancestry back for centuries through the Mandate. And they have a sort of... Well, he's not a pirate king because that would be not allowed, but he is a pirate count who runs the place and should be amenable to, having a little more freedom to operate. They have long since chafed under the Mandate's legal crackdowns.
Okay, I think we should talk to them about security.
And then finally, there's Kismano. Kismano, I want to send you to because they deal better with. Well, let's just say they're a bit cantankerous in general. They're rather insular. But I have reason to believe that they will be more receptive to your overtures than mine. Directly.
Okay.
So those are the worlds.
The yelly people, the grumpy people, and what was the other one?
The pirate people.
The pirate people.
I like all of these places already.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I guess we agreed, so, let's go meet some nobles.
Yeah.
Again, is there other things that you'd like to do? And this is you're free to say, hey, there's other stuff that we want to try or focus on, or you have another alternate idea.
I have family on Saurus, but I'd rather not get them involved in all of this right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I plan to avoid them.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't?
If I remember correctly, my connection's across the galaxy, so
yes.
Yeah, I'm already out of plans.
Well, I hate to put it on an NPC, but who's the ones who doesn't like the the people in charge?
It was Corallas, Algor, and Kismano.
Yeah,
And those are places that
technically, none of them like the people in charge, but Kismano are the ones who generally don't. They're going to be the hardest potentially to convince, because
They don't like anyone in charge.
Yeah.
So are we looking at the pirates, or
yes, we're looking
I
at the
don't trust
pirate.
anyone who does things for ideological reasons. The pirates are probably the choice.
that's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems a better fit for Sorbo talking to him for sure.
Yeah. Go to the pirates and say, hey, knock off these assholes who are in charge, and chop off their heads, and put this guy in charge.
Light side, buddy. Light side.
Did that meditation not go so hot?
For the best possible reasons, because these guys are better than those guys.
We could lock them up. We could do something else. We don't have to just off them.
Waves
I'm starting to
waves
get my
lightsaber
people
around.
freaked out about the Jedi.
Yeah, waves lightsaber around. What do you think these things do?
God, in the real world, I would be not so good. Yeah,
Clearly,
these guys are assholes. Let's kill them.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
the lightsaber exists as a soft power thing you have on your hip to show
Right.
that you could be violent.
Yes, you could use it.
No one's gonna ever do anything bad to you ever.
And that
Because
is-
everyone in the world is a regional actor.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
right,
need Bobkin to be the good Jedi because I've been the bad Jedi.
Yeah.
Go back to the light
drop a
side.
flower in his.
Let everybody get gray on.
Let's do the old bad cop, worse cop.
Yeah. You
Put
guys
flower,
are bad.
put flower in handle of lightsaber.
Yeah.
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 So I heard a couple of things. I heard potentially getting the pirates maybe on board as security for this meetup.
Yeah,
I think
that's what
so.
I think a good plan.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Like recruiting the Hell's Angels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, my
Yeah.
family hung out with
What
the
could
Hells
go
Angels.
wrong? What could go wrong? Hell's Angels, then? Yeah. What could go wrong?
Okay. So that you were talking about that as potentially your first stop, which
Yes.
seems reasonable. In terms of other things that you wanted to do, like again, the idea would be that you're going to meet in this sort of summer palace, which is up in the mountains. It's far away from everything. Did you have any other notions about kind of providing security? Any other precautions that you want to take? Any other things that you want to do while you're here?
If we can, we'd like to take a once over the summer home and just make sure that A, there's not a bunch of people around, and B, that the droids are, doing their job, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. On the when no one's around, how about actually practice with that lightsaber?
That sounds like a great idea. That sounds like a wonderful idea, considering you've technically never fired it up.
Yeah. So let's fire it up and let's actually. Yeah.
Nice.
There you go. You fire it up,
Oh,
a brilliant blue-white blade sparks into existence. It functions
Bob
just
Kid
as well as it did
becomes
1,000 years
Star
ago.
Wars kid.
That's right.
He
Yeah.
sets up a camera.
Yes. So you light the lightsaber of Lantelain Cron, and it clearly it was heavily modified. He was an expert crafter of lightsabers, it seems, and it appears as you adjust the length, play with the width of the blade a little bit, but it seems to be in perfect working order. And Zag, you noticed this obviously as well as he's practicing with it. I assume somewhere in the hangar bay, far away from everything else, or the cargo
Away
base.
from exterior home.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorbo was
That
like,
is
we
the thing
play with
that
those
Sorbo-
outside.
Yes, that is the thing that Sorbo tells you before you begin practicing in the hangar bay, and then that is the thing that Sorbo reminds you anytime you start moving in the direction of an exterior wall, even if you're across the hangar bay and you're just coming over. Nope.
No.
Wrong way.
This just tape. You do tape out a zone in the middle of the. Yeah.
There's just like there's a black yellow hazard tape, and like no one else is allowed to cross this line while you're in the middle of it. Yes.
Except for Zach.
Fair.
That's
Right.
at his own
Fair.
peril.
Right.
And I do believe that you already have a point in lightsaber from your practice as a Padawan and as a youngling. So so you actually do have a little bit of skill with the lightsaber already. So you are, you go through the forms. You go through the forms, the basic forms as you were taught, and just kind of get refamiliarize yourself with the feel of the thing, the care of the blade, etc. Care meaning don't let it touch yourself. So that's what you spend a lot of time doing, and Zag, I assume that you spend some time watching that and
Whatever other Jedi paraphernalia, he just has it next to him as he's watching.
Yes, indeed. So there's that. There is one thing I forgot to mention. Andro will ask. The recording that Lantelain left in this cube. Is that something that Zag and Bobkin, that you could somehow provide to the assembled nobles when we get to this meeting? It will have a strong impact, I believe.
We can, right?
Yeah.
Like, out of character, we're able to do this.
Yes, you can. You can open the holocron.
Yeah. In that case, yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So we're back, and after a quick break, and then I believe that Bobkin, you wanted to make while this is all being planned out, you're going to sit there and work on your own lightsaber that you've been working on this whole time. So
That'd be fun to try.
it'd be fun to try. So why don't you try it? Try it first. Roll me a light side, or roll me a white die. A white die. Click a white die and roll it.
Click a white die.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. A white die.
A white die, and then
Yep,
click
and
roll
roll
dice.
die.
Roll dice.
Oh my god.
There you go. You did it. Not building the lightsaber yet again, unless you want to flip a destiny point. Now, you already have a lightsaber, so I don't know if it's worth flipping a destiny point for that.
Dude, flip a destiny point, because otherwise you ain't never getting over it.
Alright, should I do it?
All right. Yep. And so, yes. And so I'm going to say, as part of my modification to the rules as we're here making some homebrew, I'm just going to say you get a light side, because we're going to make this a little more powerful moving forward. So for this purposes, you got your light side. Now you just need to roll mechanics. So select mechanics and add, please, 2 purple die, and then.
Can
Okay.
anyone else assist on this?
Yes, Savi can assist, and you can assist.
Where's mechanics?
Click in the choose a skill box and scroll down to mechanics and select that.
Let me find that.
It's right below the white die that you just clicked on.
Yeah, the green box where it says choose a skill and there's a drop down.
Oh, okay. Mechanics. Alright. Gotta mess this up.
And now we gotta add some dice to that.
So add some dice to that before you roll it. So add 2 purple and add 2. I guess Sorbo. You don't have to roll. We'll just have your assist. I don't think. So we'll add 2 light blue dice to that. So 2 square light
2
blue dice.
purple and 2
Light blue. Yeah. 1 for Savi and 1 for Sorbo, cooperating together with you.
Alright.
I'm having Sabi help me with all of the brief comparison. So.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So now roll?
Now roll. Click roll dice.
Ugh.
4 successes, 1 advantage. Congratulations! You have assembled successfully a lightsaber. So now you have,
Yay.
and now you technically have 2 lightsabers. Now I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. The lightsaber that Lantelain Cron built 1,000 years ago is pretty well built, but yours is yours. So you actually, do end up doing about the same amount of damage because it's yours.
Which
So you
is
have,
better.
technically, to use it, you should use your own. You should use your own, because you can do things with that you can't do with him.
All right,
with
there
his.
you go. All right, that's
so-
all I wanted to know.
Okay, so you have your own lightsaber. What color is your lightsaber?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. What color is it?
What color do you want it to be?
Red.
No, clearly.
Based on the conversations we've been having this entire session.
Oh,
Red.
fuck! I want it to be purple.
You know what?
Yeah.
Why not? You can have it to be purple. That's
right.
I do believe that in the lore, at least some of the lore, I don't know whether it's real or not anymore, whether it's old legends. But I believe that purple represents someone who has dipped into the dark side but has found a balance and come back. So there you go. Your light side.
And if you're not cool with that, that's fine.
No, I'm absolutely cool with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
This is not George. This is not George Lucas rules.
What color's the one that you got from the Dead Jedi?
Light blue.
Light blue.
So pretty standard Jedi color.
And, let me ask this: Can Bob dual wield?
Technically, he could dual wield. It's going to make everything more difficult when you fight with it.
Does more damage.
Well, that was my next question, but yeah.
Yeah, you can. I mean, if you want to dual wield, you can. It just means that every time you roll is going to be additional. It's going to be one difficulty greater to use it. So you're rolling against 3 purple rather than 2.
All right, we'll deal with that. We'll
Okay.
look at that. But
Okay.
Purple's good.
So purple and light blue. That's what you've got.
All
So
right.
you have your lightsaber. Congratulations! In fact, you have a lightsaber and a spare, which is just
And when
terrific.
you become the little firework that just spins of lights and things, Zag is absolutely entranced.
Okay.
There you go.
So I believe that we said that did you want to go to the pirates first, or did you want to go to the Summer Palace to check it out first? Because you said you wanted to kind of get the lay of the land of where you're going to be having this meeting.
Because I'm kind of hoping that we could set this up as home base if no one's around and we can keep it quiet enough.
Okay.
I mean, is that something that's okay with Andro?
It's
Yeah,
fine.
man.
It's fine with me.
Yeah,
I think the more familiar you are with this place, the better.
that's what my thought was. So
All
we'll
right.
check out the house first.
Okay.
All right, yeah.
So you all head to you complete your hyperspace jumps and come into orbit around Delarium. The Lost Legacy cannot actually land at the Summer Palace because it's too big.
Yeah.
So you have to go down in the Grasshopper, but that's okay. The Lost Legacy will stay out of sight behind the nearest moon.
Where
And
did he get the Lost Legacy if it was not?
he I actually got it. If you want to hear this, will be one of this. We can say this is one of the stories that Lena got told. After he and Lodicom fled the palace, they hitched a ride at steerage, basically, with a shipment of wine off of the planet, which ended up on Al Gore. And then there was a. I know, every time I say that name, I'm going to think that.
It just occurred to me now.
Yeah, every time I say it. I'm sure it was an in-joke when they created it. Anyway, they ended up on that planet, and there's a particular individual who runs a bar called the Airlock on that world, a Wookiee, the name of Grishil. And he had recently purchased the bar based on his winnings as a smuggler and pirate previously, his earnings in that former line of work. And one of the things that he was left with at the end, which he was trying to unload, was this salvage vessel, which had formerly been owned, I guess it had changed hands a number of times, but had been owned by some Trandoshan junkers, and who had lost it in some kind of bad deal gone bad. He had gotten a hold of it, but really didn't want it anymore, didn't need it. It was kind of the last vessel that he wanted to unload. And I had some money that I had put away in an account of my own. And, well, the price was right, and so we made a deal. He was actually...
Did you two part on good terms?
Oh, yeah.
That might be a good way to get connected to the pirates.
I hadn't
remember you.
I hadn't thought of it, but Grishil is well thought of on pirates we're all over the Eastern Mandate, so it might pay. You're right; it might pay to go and get his blessing first. Just a thought, but I agree with it. Okay, so let's go check out the Summer Palace. So you all arrive. Pull the Grasshopper descends into the mountains and comes upon the Summer Palace, which, as you can see, is up here on a part of the planet where it's cool. It is a very ancient castle that has been there for, again, centuries upon centuries. You don't see much in the way of activity. There's some basic transponder signals to guide you in. There is no particularly tight security as far as you can see. Andro has some codes that he uses for approach, but it doesn't appear that those are even necessary. You do note that there is a speeder bay that is open on the side of the cliff face, which leads directly into the palace complex, and he recommends that you land the grasshopper there so it's out of sight. When you come in for your landing, you are greeted by one or two sort of dusty-looking astromech droids and an LAPP butler droid who comes up and kind of, trundles up and greets you and acts as if greets Andro and Lodicom as if not a day has passed. Just basically.
Welcome back, sir. Welcome back. Will you be needing to prepare a room for you and your guests?
Yes.
And Andro says that will be fine. And so the little sort of droid, if you're familiar with lap droids, they have like the big bunny ears and a kind of a round, kind of oblong body, so he kind of trundles away. And basically, you have pretty much the run of the Summer Palace. True to what he had heard previously, this place is pretty much, there's drapes all over, there's tarps all over all the furniture. There's a layer of dust in here. Nobody has been here other than droids. They're like the places where the droids are. They're clearly in power saving mode. There's places where they do keep clean, and there's places where they don't clean because it's not used and the dust is just gathered.
Roombas.
Just Roombas, yeah. It's just some Roombas.
Well, is there a way to turn them on to start cleaning more?
Yes, you can give instructions to the head butler droid to start cleaning the place up. As you walk through the halls, Andro tells you of places that he's seen, that he remembers. Is like, I spent so much time here as a young man. Of course, they tell you that the speeder bay is where they met. You're walking through the antiquarium, which is where it's like, and here's. Well, actually, as you walk through, he'll point it out to you that there is there's actually a statuette of Lantelain Cron here in the antiquarium. So he points that out to you and said, "Here is what he looked like in life." So you can see whose remains you will be returning to the mandate.
What did he look like when he was dead?
Remember the mummified corpse that you found hunched over in a small compartment? Yeah, that's what he looked like. I mean,
Okay. I mean, kind of the same.
In a strange way, you can see the resemblance because, after all, he was sort of preserved by the cold. He was effectively mummified.
Okay to take a picture, right?
Yes,
No flash
picture.
photography.
Yeah, no flash photography in here, please. It's not allowed. However, I do want Zag especially. Anybody else, I suppose, can, but Zag especially. I'd like you to make a perception roll. Just a straight perception, no difficulty. I just want to see how well you do.
Yeah,
3 success, 3 advantage, 1 triumph.
1 triumph. Well, 1 triumph. Well, what does that get you? While everybody's looking at Lantelain Cron, you can't help but notice that there is a.
Oh my god, why is that so appropriate for Zag?
Well, I do. Indeed, it is. There is a painting of a woman, not far from the bust of Lantelain Cron, and you are kind of drawn to it. Just kind of an impression, a feeling. The butler droid says, "Ah, yes, the Lady of the Watchful Star." And when you look at it, you can't help but notice there's something around her neck that gets your attention. It's a long, hexagonal, cylindrical crystal that looks like it's of a certain size and a certain shape.
she literally wearing a necklace with a kyber crystal?
It's not a kyber crystal. It's too big.
No. The Ori. The Ori.
Yes.
That's how you open the Ori.
Yes.
Oh, well, that would have made it a lot easier.
Who is she?
Did
That-
you just say it was like the Lady of the Stars?
Yeah, but like, what's
That's-
the or what's the who's the actual person? What's the year? Please.
Duchess Lantelain Cron.
And the dates of her life are approximately a little less than around 1,200 years ago. So contemporary with Lantelain Cron.
Some sort of relation, I assume. Wife? Sister?
I'm afraid my records do not go back that far.
Really? You haven't done like a family tree?
It's the same timeline as the Jedi.
Yeah.
It's definitely the same time period.
Dude, you're gonna regret saying that if it's his sister.
There's,
It's
pre-
Star Wars.
there's a
I still
precedent.
might not be wrong.
I was about to say.
There's
Does
a
Andro
raw
know?
weird.
Any idea about like where her remains?
Well, Andrew can tell you he doesn't remember her per se. Her remains would be in the if she's of the same family line. Her remains would be in the family crypt, the same place we're planning to take Lantelain.
It's all according to my plan.
Man,
Says
yes.
Absolutely light side Zag.
Yes.
I would love to go visit her unlooted tomb and admire how unlooted it is.
Bobkin's gonna
My
toss him
goodness.
that light blue saber, and it's gonna turn red. He's gonna be like,
Yeah.
My goodness, there's some.
It's a mood saber.
Oh no, it's open.
you can't prove to me that that's not a capability of lightsabers.
I think you
There
should.
was a spider on the lock, and then
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I seem to have accidentally murdered someone on the back swing. How clumsy.
In any case, yeah. So that is. If you are curious to know more, Zag, Andrew, I'll tell you, there is a library. I used to spend a lot of time in it here on the premises. So
Is there a
can.
pool?
There is a pool, an indoor pool. You can absolutely use it.
Pool.
All
There's
right.
both pools.
I'm
It's
still gonna wear my sun hat.
Yes.
It's indoor.
The droids can turn the sun lamps on, so to create the impression of being outside.
Lena and her hat and her snacks are by the pool.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cold.
I'm out.
It's cold up here for a reptilian being. You know,
Yeah.
you got to get under the sun lamp.
Zag is going to the library.
All right, Zag, you'll go to the library.
How do I get to whatever page you guys are on?
the
You
Zoom
mean
call.
back to the Zoom call? You want to Alt Tab until you see the Zoom call in front of you.
Oh,
Well,
so what up?
Just Alt Tab and until it's hovering over the Zoom call.
Does Lena wear those giant oversized sunglasses too?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah, absolutely.
like classic Hollywood
Yeah.
type.
They're ones-
Yeah.
Ah,
They're
there we,
big ones Zag stole from a convenience store on the way here.
there we are.
Yes.
Liberated.
That was liberated. Sorry, liberated.
Yes, liberated. Yes, scoundrels.
Uh,
A little bit.
Zag did not actually do that this week.
Yes.
No, I got him to go with my hat.
Yes. There you go. So, all right. So, Lena, you spend some time by the pool. You're out of history. Zag, you spend some time in the library.
I want to see if there's any like
That's a hallway.
pictures or anything of the necklace, and I do want to try and get as much detail as I can
Okay.
because I'm eventually going to talk to Sorbo and see what his crystal work is like.
Fair.
Okay. So you spend some time in the library, and we can do if you want to do it now, so we don't forget it. Why don't you just do some kind of roll for the research that you're going to be doing. This would be lore, but because you are in the library, I'm going to say net you have 2 blue dice because you are in the right place to do this. So it's 3 purple, but it's 2 blue added to that.
All right. 0 success, but 2 advantage.
2 advantages. Okay, so you're not able to find anything particular on Talani. Well, you can get this much. You know that. I'll tell you this just so for point of clarity, even with 0 successes. This was Lantelain Cron's niece, so it was not his sister or
He's like, I'm not going to tell Lena. She's just going to say, I told you so.
Yes, but it was his niece.
No, Lena gets a text. You are right. It was his niece.
Yeah, there you go. I'm down the library. It's right. It's true. Lena's like looks up from the okay, for goes back to sunning. 2 advantages. What would you like to do with those 2 advantages? What kind of tidbits of information unrelated to that topic would you like?
Maybe stuff about the Jedi whose name I just forgot. I'm sorry.
Lantelain Cron.
Lantelain?
Lantelain Cron.
Maybe some books about Lantelain. Maybe the non-Jedi related kind of stuff.
Here's what you find. What you find something from, because again, they don't have anything formally about him being Jedi in here.
Yeah.
What you do find is that he, get this, abdicated the throne. He was first in line for the throne. And they desperately wanted him to come back, but he never did. And actually, the cronies' royal throne fell into a bit of difficulty and had a lot of misfortunes after that in the family in terms of just poor rulership and economic fortunes, etc. In the time following Lantelain's departure. So that's what you find.
Okay, I'm going to keep a copy of that book and show it to Andrew and be like, let's not make the same mistake.
On the contrary, I think that this is something good to bring up, potentially. Again, at least with the nobles. So, talking about security assessment, Sorbos, RCs, Bobkin, what are you looking for? Again, this is a big it's an old sprawling place. It's very fancy, as you can see on the inside, but very dusty. A lot of stuff, a lot of furniture's been packed away. It doesn't.
I was looking around for a security room, like one where they have monitor the cameras and stuff, and administer the droids.
There is something that there is sort of a droid control room that you can operate out of. Again, there's some old security cameras you could probably get going again, but they would need some work. There are also some very old orbital, or not orbital, but anti-aircraft defense cannons.
I like orbital defense.
Yeah.
You have lasers that kill people from the sky.
Suborbital defense, but yes, but on the tops of the towers there are actually automated blaster turrets that could. Now they're very old, and they haven't been up and running for decades, but they are still there.
Any small arms?
Only Lena.
Yeah. I would say that there is an armory here, but again, the weapons are again fairly old. There's actually a good deal of historical weaponry in here. There's some old vibro swords and vibro axes. There's some slug thrower weapons.
That is a terrible name. Vibro swords does not sound like what I'm sure it is in canon.
Well, keep in mind that this is also the universe where a popular form of music is, I kid you not, jizz music.
Yeah.
So
Can I get one of the axes?
you can get a vibro axe if you want. It's going to be awfully hefty for someone of your particular build.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Then.
It's like half again.
You actually stick with the sword.
And technology works for thousands of years.
Guns.
So I'm not worried
That's
about
what I
these
like.
guns.
Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and then there are some old blasters, sort of again pre Clone War blasters that are there, blaster rifles.
I would like to pick up a blaster rifle.
Okay, so you can treat that as a heavy blaster rifle. So you may add that to your character sheet as you will. I will say that the only trick with it is that because of its advanced state of disrepair and age, you will have one black die to use it unless you manage to tune it up. So
okay.
that
I will ask Torbo about that later.
I was gonna say.
Finish with other stuff.
yeah.
So my question is, at the end of the day,
Mhm.
when all of these plans have come to fruition, we're all sort of like, it is very clearly the climax of this. We're going to actually have these sorts of like, persuasive meetings with people. Is that going to be done remotely, or are they all coming here?
They're coming here. That's the plan.
Sorbo, well, Xarxes is doing all of the like planetary defense and what sort of systems do we have?
Yeah.
Sorbo's just trying to get like the lay of this area and figure
Okay.
out where we can control access. How do we
Mhm.
keep people in places we want them to be and make sure they are not anywhere else?
Mhm.
Like, how would you practically
Right.
not just defend this from attack, but how would you practically defend this from a whole pile of people being here?
Right.
You can't watch them all at the same time.
Right. The shortest route, one of the things you immediately pick up on, and do you have warfare? You don't have warfare, do you?
I don't know. I find out that real quick.
You can always roll the dice. I think it's based on intellect, so
I have warfare.
I do not have warfare, but I do have influence. So
why don't Sorbo and Xarxes roll some warfare? Just both
Is
roll.
there a difficulty?
2 purple. This isn't that hard.
You say that.
Yes.
You say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I'm like, I should have added 1 black die, but you're fine.
We're bad enough as it is.
I know I said I was going to add more black dice in this game, but I'm like, so far, no, it's okay. Let me add a
You guys screw yourself.
We do well enough all by ourselves.
Let me add a complication. Oh no, forget it. Okay,
The
so
complication is asking us to roll.
yes.
Advantages.
Yeah, it's a big castle.
It is.
It's a big sprawling castle. It has. I mean, this is what I'll tell you for free with your advantages. Controlling access is not that big of a deal because there's not like you're trying to keep any secrets. There are no sensitive areas you're trying to keep people away from, per se. Except maybe the droid control room. Like I guess that would be the thing that I'll give you. But it's like there's just not. And they're going to land in one of 2 places. They're going to land in the courtyard, or they're going to land in the speeder bay. It's up to you what route you want to take them.
I'm talking more like once they're here. I realize that I'm not going to get any information, but like once they're here, like there's going to be designated places where guests are received, and there are going to be places that they are not allowed to go. And so that's sort of what he's thinking about.
Yeah.
But it's a big castle and he doesn't know the layout, so
Yeah, I'll say that for the advantages, we can say that Sorbo has a room in mind. He has a big room that he wants. There's like a big empty kind of ballroom. He's like, we'll just gather them there. We'll keep it simple. It's a big open meeting room. Hopefully the meeting will not take all that long. So we'll do it that way. So there's that. Is there anything else you all want to do in terms of security and preparation? Sensors or anything like, I don't know.
do we still have the droids that we got from the wrecking yard?
You do still have those droids, the battle droids.
I've probably spent some time, because I know we did very janky repairs on them to get them to just like basically barely help.
Yes.
In the weeks of, Sorbo is fixing all of the janky repairs to the Grasshopper and all of the janky repairs to everything else we've done, I imagine also they have come up. My hope is that he has been able to do enough work that they will be useful as additional security forces that we can trust.
Yes. I would say that you probably can do that. I would like you to give me a mechanics roll because you've been working on them and you have time. I'm going to say, again, I'm just giving you blue dice these days. I was going to say it's 2 purple with 1 blue.
Okay. There are also some other blue coming along for the ride.
From sure, because you're you, and that's the sort of thing you can do.
And I will need every one of them.
Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Look at that long string of dice. Yes.
With nothing on them.
Amazing, amazing. This is what drives us nuts, folks.
Yeah.
4 of them blank is an impressive roll all by itself.
Yeah. That's pretty unusual. But anyway, in any event, you manage to have 2 fully functional B2 battle droids that will obey your commands, that can be contacted by comlink.
Good.
You know, pretty much what you would ask. So you got two bodyguards for your bodyguards.
And I like that they are trustworthy as opposed to people we have hired. Not that I don't trust people I've hired.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's nice to have backup.
It is nice to have backup. I agree. And then, so going back to Xerxes, is there anything that you wanted to do with some of that equipment that you have found and the stuff that you're doing?
I mean, I'd like to ask the droids to fix the cameras, but I'm assuming Zorbo has more stuff planned.
That's a great assumption.
Yeah.
This
That's a good start.
yeah.
Yeah.
The droids, probably not the battle droids, because they're battle droids. They don't know anything else. But probably the droids from the ship from Lost Legacy can be brought down to fix the cameras, or some of the household droids can fix the cameras. The cannons and anything else, that's a little bit outside, and messing with your rifle, that's a little bit out of their bailiwick. So that would be a Sorbo roll, or someone else who wants to do. Yeah. So
I spend all my time fiddling with my gun. I spend my time fiddling with someone.
So you have a number.
I'm sorry, and I do bring up the condition of the guns to Sorbo, and ask him to fix mine and any others that he can.
Yeah. Again, it'll be part of like surveying our assets and what we have.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll have a better role, but you know.
Well, I want to do them as multiple rolls, because I don't want to do the cannons as sort of a binary thing. Like, it's possible you may have one cannon, it's possible you may have multiple cannons. So, or, you know, actually, now that I think about it, what if we did this? Well, you tell me what you would rather do. Would you rather do each cannon as a separate roll? Would you rather say, like, hey, we're going to do them en masse, and depending on how well you roll, we'll you know, is how many you get working or something like that? Or what do you want to do here? Mathematically, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, one roll seems fine. I don't want to make this just like a tedious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think one roll with graduated success would work for them.
Okay.
And then I guess like a separate roll for Xerxes gun or whatever else we're preparing.
Yes. So let's do the roll for Xerxes heavy blaster rifle first. I'm going to say again it's an old gun, so I'm going to say it's 2 purple but 2 black.
Okay, those 2 black. Like 2 remove blacks.
See, there you go. That's why I don't add black, because you guys just eat them.
Well, I don't ever get to be cool if you don't add them.
That's true.
I don't get to state it if it's not there.
One of my favorite things in this game is when people suffer critical wounds. You know, and you have like if you have there are certain abilities, durable I believe it is, where you just absorb. You're like, nope, critical wound isn't that bad. It's not bad. It's a scratch. It's terrific. So that's pretty good there. That's pretty good indeed. All right, so Xerxes, you have a fully functional heavy blaster rifle, which
Very nice.
Which, by the way, has an auto fire function. So if you do get enough advantages on when you use it, it will go full auto on the enemy. So that's pretty nice. So I would add that to your character sheet so you have track of it. You can find it in almost every rulebook, I believe. And
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, so there's that, and then there's the cannons. So the blaster cannons again. There's one on the tops of most of the towers. So let's see how. Let's do a roll for that. I would say that's 3 purple and 2 black. So it's going to be tough. But of course, you get rid of the black, so because you're cool like that.
It's my only job.
This is my one job.
It's stupid, but
I'm going to do it. Except in this case, it isn't stupid.
I love that movie so much.
So
I
as do I.
Ooh.
Holy smoke! A triumph. Well, let's see. What does
Damn
that mean?
cannon.
What does that mean? I'm gonna say that you get 2 of the cannons working, but the triumph means that you're actually able to up their damage a little bit. That they're actually going to. Well, it's up to you. Do you want to? You can update. Do you want to? You can mod them to upgrade their damage. You can mod them to upgrade their range.
I don't think range is going to be as much of an issue. I think these are older canon. If we can update them so that they're actually able to to use more of the power that's being sent to do more damage, that seems like a much better option. Considering these are basically going to be, I mean, everything we're doing here is basically a holdout weapon.
Yes.
I'm not concerned about taking things out on the distance. I'm concerned about betrayal up close and personal.
Okay. All right. So there you go. So that is that. I think that's pretty. That's pretty good for security. Is there anything else that you all wanted to do here in the Summer Palace?
I know Sorbo's really busy with all his projects, so I'm actually going to ask Bobkin about the crystal and see if he can make something that can replicate something similar to it.
Okay. Bobkin, I would say for you to know one way or the other would require probably a mechanics roll on your part. Or pardon me, skullduggery. That actually is more appropriate. And difficulty would be 3 purple. Well, no, sorry, 2 purple just to know. 2 purple just to know. No black for this one. It's fairly open and shut.
All right, skullduggery and 2 purple.
2 purple.
Boom, boom. Roll dice.
Roll dice.
Boom.
Okay, 1 success. All right. What all of that tells you is that Bobkin, you're like, that is a archaic form of crystalline lattice key, cannot be replicated easily. Certainly not without having an example of the plans of the original key, and it's extremely hard to do. So
I see everybody again.
Yeah. So you gotta have the key.
Okay.
Hey, now I want to see everybody again.
Oh, you want to see the key?
I want to see everybody again.
Oh, you want to see everybody? So yes.
Yeah.
So Alt tab back to us.
I can't remember that. Right, I got it. We're good.
Out of character, Zag.
Yo.
You're getting much more skilled at telekinesis. Do you think it's possible you can manipulate the tumblers directly?
This isn't a matter of this isn't
This isn't a tumbler situation.
This isn't a tumbler lock.
Crystals and lights.
Yeah.
But can he how much can he feel into an object?
Yeah.
I can't. That's a Bobkin thing.
Yeah, it's a Bobkin thing.
That's a sense for one.
Yeah.
Is it a Bobkin thing?
It is a Bobkin thing.
I can't make it, but I can feel around.
Do you want to try Force Sense and sense inside the orrery?
How do we do that?
One white die and then roll it to see if we get a light side or a dark side.
Okay.
So Alt tab back to the game.
We haven't looked at the orrery in a while. Let's look at the orrery.
Make sure you're on the game page.
I'm trying real hard, guys.
No worries.
Alt tab. Where is it? Okay. Boom. All right. So
roll. Just roll a white die.
Just roll a white die.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah. That's how you. That's how you. Force powers. They either just work or they don't. That's the way the Force works.
Boom.
No.
Didn't work. All right.
Unless you want to flip you want to flip a destiny die.
Well, does that mean I'm going dark side?
No.
Not if you flip a destiny die. Not if you flip a destiny die.
If you choose to still use the Force based on what you rolled, yes. If you use the light side point, no.
Yeah, and it's okay to use the light side point. We got them. We had 4, so go ahead and use it.
All right.
We have 3 now.
So what do I play?
You just
Don't touch anything.
you don't
Yeah.
touch anything. I will just flip it, and now there's 4 dark side points for me to play with, and you succeed.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
So you use your force sense, and you lay your hands on the orrery, and you reach out
Right.
and sense the first something you haven't really tried to do before. You try to sense inside of it,
Yeah.
and you sense. You reach out and you sense there is definitely an object encased within this device, locked inside of it. And when you feel that object, you feel a spike of the dark side kind of rushing into you.
Oh,
And you recoil.
No user serviceable parts inside.
that's not good.
What's not good?
Well, there was a dark thing. That's not good.
Oh, that's not good.
No, that's not good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
That,
that would be bad.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that.
You probably don't.
no, definitely not.
And it's been in there, and you've been carrying it around this whole time.
Clearly, it's fine.
Yeah. Hasn't corrupted us at all.
Incidentally, we should also murder everyone if anything's wrong while we fight them.
Yes.
It's light side.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think we should do that.
Yes.
Let's not do that. Animal.
Oh, this, ooh.
No.
We had this thing by that planet. Oh, that's bad. Okay,
No.
well that's kind of good bad.
No.
Kind of good bad.
Well,
No.
it's good that it's not there anymore, but it's bad that we had it there in the first place.
Fair.
Good point. Good
So,
point.
I have a question.
Yes.
No questions. No.
No questions.
No.
So I don't know how this would mechanically work, but is
Yeah.
there something that Lena can do that kind of preps her for the conversation she's going to need to have? So story-wise, my thought is that like she grabs like one of the protocol droids and is like, "All right, tell me how to talk to rich people."
Okay.
But mechanics-wise, I don't know what you want to do with that.
Yeah. So I think that's interesting. That's it's just like preparing, sort of like doing your it's doing your due diligence as part of the preparation. I know. Sorry, this fell into corporate speak a little bit there. Well, yeah, I can think of a couple of skills you could make an argument for. It's doing social research, and in my mind, effectively, what are you doing? You're looking at who are these people we're talking to? What are their problems? What is their perspective? That's essentially what you're looking for, right? I mean, and yeah, what are the third rails I don't want to touch? All that kind of thing.
Lena's training program is a droid reading her the audiobook of the book.
Yes, there you go.
See, I was
The
thinking
rich,
my fair
the
lady.
rich are not like you and me.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like, okay, all right, so we're gonna practice this again. But the rain in Spain
falls
mainly
mainly
on the
on
plane.
the
Okay.
No.
So what do you? There's not really a lot of like. Well, one, her intellect isn't as good, and there's not really like. I guess maybe like more.
I mean, again, I think you can make.
Negotiation.
I think you can make an argument for. You can make an argument for any of the. I mean, certainly negotiation as a social skill, because some part of negotiation has to be exactly what you're talking about here, right? It has to be preparing to talk to someone before you talk to them. So I think that's perfectly fine, and I think that's what you should go with, really.
I also like I like that because it's actually something she's not trained in.
Yeah.
She's got a natural ability to it because I'm assuming it is actually it's a
Right.
cunning or something. She's got 3 in, but it's not something she's trained in.
Right.
Difficulty.
I'm going to say the difficulty is 2 purple with 1 black die because this droid is a little bit out of the loop.
Okay.
Because he's here in the middle of nowhere.
Suck it.
Okay.
But also threat. So
Also
she's
2
too
threats.
good. She can't talk to the plebs anymore.
Okay.
No.
Aw.
Yeah. Sorbo's like, "How you doing, Lena?" It's like, "Excuse me."
she's got her pinky out on like jerky.
Yeah. Pardon me, sir. Well, I mean, 6 successes is pretty damn good. So I'm going to say that you have some good information about pretty much everybody that you're planning to talk to. So, I can give you a lot of information on that.
I literally got just what's on the dice. Nothing like...
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
I literally rolled 6 successes, 2 threat.
That is a pretty crazy roll. That is a
weird roll.
Chaos. Star Wars Fantasy Flight. Chaos incarnate.
Chaos?
Yeah, imagine that. So, let us see here. Let's go around the worlds that we're talking about here. Let's start with Kismano. The thing about Kismano is, again, they are standoffish. They're sort of they're stereotypical New Englanders of the Cronies Mandate. They're sorry, New Englanders. They're generally a little bit taciturn with all outsiders, but they specifically don't trust other worlds from the Cronies Mandate necessarily. Not that they're like disloyal, but they're just like they just are constantly questioning, like, what are they trying to get out of us? Are we trying to lose? They have clawed for their position and they keep it, and their particular noble family never gets they're never picked for the throne, so they're never they're not crazy about that concept, and they keep it, they keep their bloodline pure, as it were, which is a little bit of a problem for other reasons. But their current ruler is known as the Stone Duke, which should give you some indication that he is the Kismanoiest Kismano that ever Kismanoed. He is quite known for his difficult nature. The other thing you got to know about them, the Third Rail. There is a planet right in the nearby system called Gadan, and Gadan is basically a colony of Kismano. So they're sort of a colony within a colony, and the Gadani people are a distinct species. They're not the same as the Kismano people,
I just need my cord. Sorry, my computer's mine.
Okay. But the point is that is their third rail. They are very sensitive about discussion of the Gadani and Gadan in general, their rights to maintain it as a colony, the rights of the mining rights, who gets the profit from Gadan. It's a sensitive subject.
Gotcha. Sensitive subject that's good to bring up?
Sensitive subject that is not good to bring up from their perspective, because it is, from what you're gathering, they do not treat the Gadani people fairly. It's a colony. Of course they don't treat them fairly.
Right.
And they're real sensitive about it. So in other words, they're kind of hypocritical in that way, that they'll complain a lot about their rights and their position and fairness and the justice of the law, of their rights under the law. But don't you dare compare that to the Gadani. Don't even mention the Gadani.
Okay.
So that's...
Wait, 2 seconds, I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. So that is one of 3. I'm going to say next we'll talk about Corlys. Corlys, as I said, just sort of a background, it's an oceanic world. It has very little landmass, and so people are really packed in tight in the landmass that they do have. And its people their culture is very shambolic. They don't have a strong central authority. Again, it's kind of ruled by pirate band, but it's all very amenable in some way. Like they tend to be known as sort of friendly pirates, if there was a thing. That they're known for.
It's Margaritaville.
It's Margaritaville. It's a very pleasant pirate atmosphere. It's party pirates. So they have of late, and this is again something that happened after Andro left is the crony security forces have basically gone in on a couple of different occasions and sort of busted the place up. And so there is this kind of back and forth, where they keep coming in, and the crony security forces clearly don't want to have a permanent presence there, but they have to keep going back in because they get orders from the king or the central government to say there's another smuggling ring operating out of there. They stole such and such. You got to go in and bust it up. One particular thing that is of note is that Corliss is a prime starting point for smugglers who are running something called the Rampa Rapids. The Rampa Rapids is a smuggling run that starts in Corliss and ends up in a planet that's outside the Mandate called Rampa, which is a highly industrialized planet with basically a dead environment. And so the people there drink nothing but processed chemical soup, effectively. And so fresh water...
They're like greenest people.
Yes. Fresh water of the type you can get on Corliss is incredibly prized on Rampa, and also, because it's tightly controlled, hard to get. So smugglers actually smuggle water into Rampa, and they start at Corliss.
Wait a second. So these aren't just fun pirates. These are ice pirates.
They are indeed ice pirates. They are indeed ice pirates. So yes, make of that what you will. They do have a fairly rough and tumble method of selecting. They're sort of governing themselves in terms of a pirate council, but there is a line, a hereditary line that typically represents them in the Mandate. So they don't look like nobles, nor do they act like nobles. So you don't really have to worry about talking to nobles with them, because they're frickin' pirates with a noble title.
Gotcha.
That's their deal. So that's them. And then finally, there is the something else we mentioned, Algor. So Algor is again called Liar's World. It really should be called properly Debater's World. They have a very arcane, complex legal system that is based almost entirely around contracts and adherence to contracts. So they sign contracts for everything. They sign contracts to go, to where you shop. Are you going on a date? Like it doesn't matter what it is. Everything is governed by contracts there. They actually don't have that strong of a central government, but they have a very involved court and legal system. Yeah. Interestingly enough, they are not. Crime is not unknown to them as well, although they tend to be more in the fencing end of things most of the time. So that is their end of the criminal activities in the Eastern Mandate. So basically, as far as they're concerned, as long as we have a fair contract, it doesn't matter what doesn't matter what anybody else's law says. So that is kind of their way of doing things. It's actually, on one side note, it's a fairly good place to get illicit goods if you're in the market for them.
So I think with that information, what Lena wants to do is, and perhaps even this particular protocol droid can do it, is that for that last culture, she wants him to draw kind of just some like boilerplate contracts,
Okay.
so that we've got it out, that it's a very easy, all right, let's talk about what actually would benefit each other. Like if she can have something to just basically pull out a piece of paper as they're having the conversation. I think that's where she wants to go with that one. For the more prim and proper types, are there cultural norms that they would be impressed by? So they come in and everybody's set for tea or whatever.
The one thing to note in particular, a couple things to note. So I would say the Corliss folks, they're always going to be appreciative of a gift.
Okay.
And it doesn't necessarily need to be a fancy gift. It doesn't need to be an expensive gift. It should be, if it's like a home cooked meal or whatever. That's a cheesy example, but essentially just like something that has some novelty or is unique. They're all about it. Gold is welcome as well, but I'm saying it doesn't have to be. So that's for Corliss. I would say that and otherwise they're pretty easygoing, all things considered. Although I would say that the one thing that you do is you come in arms open and not armed, and don't get upset if they're armed because they're always armed.
Okay.
That's the thing. Don't give them the indication you're coming in for a fight, because they're always on the lookout for, well, maybe this crew is trying to take on my crew and they've hired these people to take me out. That's going to be something they're going to be mindful of. Kismano is almost the opposite. Absolutely do not bring a gift. They're absolutely mistrustful of anyone bearing gifts.
They're going to be contract people. They should just
yeah.
Wait,
they're not the contract people. They're the
pirate.
No. The pirates are the people I just mentioned. The Corliss people. Kismano are the New Englanders, the insular people.
So they are the no gift ones.
They are the no gift ones. Yeah, it's like they will not trust you. Because they're just automatically going to assume you're trying to butter them up, and they'll hate you. So, pardon me.
Okay, so gifts for the pirates, but is there something that we can set up for the prim and proper ones?
Those would be the Kismano folks. Yeah.
No, not the pirates. The
legal people.
The uptight ones. Trying to come up with words that don't offend New Englanders. Sorry.
Oh yeah, okay, yes. So that is okay. I said those people. So what can you do positively for them? Yeah. I think. What can you do for them? What you can do for them is, I guess, in a way.
I have a suggestion.
Go for it. I'm all for it.
Who do they hate the most? Like, which other planet, other culture do they really, really have a grudge against?
That's a good point.
If they're New Englanders, they have a grudge.
That's a good point. They do have a grudge. They have had a long-standing conflict with the Baron of Or 7. They do not like that man, and he has they basically end up running a lot of their mined ore through his ports, because it's just the way the trade routes run, and he takes a substantial cut. This is just off the top of my head.
Figure out a way something that pisses him off.
Yeah,
and they'll like it.
So something to piss off, or a way that they don't have to go through him.
Or what about a mandate from the king, if he's placed, that fees through ports are standardized? Because then that's enforceable, but it also makes it very legal.
That might work, but because it also doesn't specifically target. The way you do that is you sell it to them as this will screw over the Baron.
Yes.
But it'll look perfectly above board. It's not. He won't like it, but it's not targeting him directly.
Right. It doesn't look like an attack from them, so it doesn't further cause them any strife. It is very much their MO to put a law in place for something they want. Yeah. When you bring this to Andro, he has a moment of panic, because you can tell that he's like, I don't remember all this stuff. Is this the right thing to do? Am I screwing myself? But I would say that
head in the game, buddy.
Yeah, I'd say he's in the end he'll be amenable to it. He'll be able to do it. And then the legalistic guys, you just of Al Gore, you need to have it in writing. You need to have it detailed. I don't know who can help with that specifically. I'm trying to think of who in the group would be good at writing a legal contract. I'm coming up blank.
I'm hoping one of the droids I'm hoping he has something that is like, because that should be something that can be robotic. Like, here's standard verbiage for a contract, or for a promise from the family.
Okay.
That here's what that's traditionally a written commitment would look like from the royal family.
Okay. I'm going to say that
Letterhead or something.
I'm going to say that the droids are able to produce that, but I'm going to take those 2 threat.
Okay.
Put it in my pocket.
Alrighty. Last roll that I want to make. So the pirates like gifts. Is Mama Cass still with us, or whatever her name was?
Mama Tigo.
Awesome.
Yeah. If Mama Cass was with us in Star Wars, that would be terrific. But yes, no. Mama Tigo is still with you. Yes.
Does she have anything that Lena could fashion into just kind of like trinkety, like something like, hey guys, made you a thing out of scrap parts from I have now completely forgot what that race is, Jawa.
Like
And
maybe
this could
like
include she scraps parts off of something we already own.
yes, maybe like a clever little automated, like a clever like entertainment droid, or like kind of like just a little, or something novel like a clockwork droid, something that like just doesn't operate the way a droid normally would. Like it's just novel because it's like this is a droid that runs off wind-up power or whatever, but it's still a droid, like something like that.
Yeah, because what I was hoping to roll is not mechanics but coordination. That like this is just an agility thing.
Oh! It's a thing it's like an object art that you want to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't know, some abstract like sculpture out of scrap.
It's very unusual. It's very unusual. Let's see here.
Authentic JavaScript.
Yeah. I don't know.
Except no imitations.
I'm trying to think of a way that would be like something cool enough. Like coordination, I would feel like it's almost like it has to be something that's like that you physically use. Like it's like I keep getting a hula hoop stuck in my head. It's like, look, for kids.
I mean, I'm assuming they still have younglings, like.
Yeah.
And given kind of if we're going to stretch kind of Alina lore, like.
Yeah.
They're playful. They're likely to make little fidgety things for.
Yeah. That's for sure.
Stuff.
I guess I'm having a hard time figuring out how to make it a gift for them with you using coordination, because you got to craft it. You could demonstrate.
Sorry, coordination is for the crafting.
Maybe
it is just something that she has to.
Yeah.
Maybe it's
she
something
just
like
isn't as good at mechanics.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Sorry.
Maybe it's something like a yo-yo where it's very simple, but you can display interesting things with it.
Okay, that's fair.
And then you could encourage the kids, say, hey, you can do stuff like this.
You
walk the dog and do the cradle and all of these things.
That's fair. I like it. Let's do that. So again, then get. That's okay.
Accidentally. Okay, that's just going to be listed as coordination twice. Difficulty.
Yeah. Difficulty, we will make it. I'm gonna say it's. How difficult is this to do? Coming up with
if I can suggest at at potentially my own detriment, I would not bulk a red and a purple.
You know what? I'll do it. I'll upgrade that. I think that's a fine way because I want to bounce it, but also you added a light somehow.
I didn't mean to. Yeah, sorry.
So then anyway, you get so one purple, one red.
All right. If I screwed myself with that.
You in fact did not. You get 1 success and 2 advantages. Coordination.
All right.
As opposed to coordination.
Accidentally added the skill twice and then had to take the dice out.
Little weird things that this system does. It's fine, but no, it worked out for you. So that was good. Thank you for helping me burn a die there. So that was good.
I just meant it as something that was hard, but
yes.
because that didn't quite seem right, because that would be like,
yeah.
I guess maybe it could have been, but
yes, indeed. Oh, I removed the wrong thing. There we go. All right, so after that musical thing, you actually make like a little weird. It's like a cross between a yo-yo and a fidget spinner. You're not really sure how it works, but it can wing it out and wing it back and zing to the other. It's a cool little thing. and it looks a lot more fancy than it is.
Fair enough.
So there you got a fun little thing. So I would say that's
If
may
I
not
can
be
put
cool.
those advantages in my pocket
Yes.
for interactions with them later.
You can put that in and take those as blue dice when you go to demonstrate the thing with them.
Sweet.
That's what I'm going to say. Okay. So what else? Is there anything else that we need to do here in the castle before we move on?
I think I'm ready.
Okay. I believe the plan was that you were at least what you were talking about was going to visit that Wookiee on Algor first to sort of check out, sort of where you can get, what his beliefs are about, what's going on, if you can get his support, and take that to the pirates. Is that still a plan, or did you want to skip that part?
I think makes sense to me.
Okay. So, I believe that means that everybody will take the ship and a quick hyperspace jump in the Lost Legacy over to Algor. Into the planet you go, and it is, of course, as you can see, a fairly arid world. Pretty barren, but it's got a decent amount of ship traffic coming and going. And then you make planetfall after some fairly lengthy negotiations on Andro's part with regarding the docking fees and which standard contract you're going to have for access to the docking bay, and it's just like, I forgot about this planet. But that's his headache for the day. So by the time by the time he's done negotiating, he's like, Lena, land the ship. I've got to lay down. I've got a headache.
Okay.
So you bring the ship in for a landing as he lays down and takes some migraine medicine, and then you step out into again
I
this.
changed my mind. I don't want to be king.
I don't want to be king of this. Not if this is one of the provinces. I don't want it. So he tells you. Well, he'll he's down with a headache, but he'll give you. I'll send a message. Go to the airlock bar, ask for Grishil, and tell him an old friend needs to meet him. I'll be hopefully over my headache. You can bring him back here.
Okay.
Okay, so off you go. Is everybody going on this little expedition, or are some people standing back?
I mean, if Lena's going after me,
Yes.
she does not get left alone, especially not in hostile territory.
Xerxes, are you going?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess we'll assume Bobkin's going.
So you make your way through the streets, and I would like everyone in the group to please make me a perception roll with a difficulty of two purple and one black.
Oops.
Trying to think of everywhere. Oh, something.
So I'm going to say, so going through the list, starting from Lena, who was the first one to roll, you don't notice anything, but you kind of are kind of going through and looking around and like trying to find your way to the airlock, and you're just like, it's like, does anybody know the way to the airlock? Do you know where the airlock? Asking people.
Hey,
Hey, excuse
nobody's
me.
even looking down.
Down here. Do you know the way of the airlock? And so after that happens, when she's asking that question, Zag, this is your advantages first, happen to be overlooking at an interesting collection of old stels that are being hung from one of the stalls that look like they are reminiscent of the style of the old Empire of Zim. To bring that topic up again, you'll hear that a lot. By the way, Zim used to rule this part of space. So while you're looking at them, you hear her out of the side of your hearing saying, like, does anybody know where the airlock bar is? And as you're looking at these kind of stels hanging, you see two rough-looking characters, one Rhodian and one human, kind of perk up, look at her, and then whisper to each other. and then kind of start. One of them crosses the street, kind of keeping an eye on her.
I'm going to shoot her a quick text of, hey, maybe not so loud with that particular name, and then try and tail that guy.
Okay.
You're standing right next to me. Why are you... Oh. Wait, where's Zag go?
Zag went, he was distracted by some objects. Xerxes, you don't notice the two guys. You don't notice a thing. But you do notice... as you're walking through, you do notice a small kind of sign that's affixed on the side of one building that kind of points like this way to the airlock bar. So that's helpful because that is the actual direction that you're going. Sorbo, you also don't see a
competition for not noticing it.
Yeah, you also don't see a goddamn thing. But in the process of kind of looking around the area, you find an interesting stall where there is someone selling exotic animals, many of whom are illegal, including he has a collection of dingoes, which are renowned throughout the galaxy as being one of the meanest pound for pound, well, ounce for ounce, really animals in the galaxy. And he is practically giving them away. It's like, please, someone take the dingo, please. I have 6 of them. If you bring them together, they will fight, and you can make people take bets on the one that will survive.
Oh, he's that desperate.
Or have them.
Assuming you still have enough fingers to count that high.
Yes. Or anyone else for that matter. They'll fight anything. Your enemies, your friends, your children, anything you want to fight, they will fight.
Balls.
Yes.
Are we gonna get a bunch of dingoes for security?
Dingoes are actually, just for reference, they're about this big. They have the head of a small wolf, and then they're furry, and then they have 2 long pincers, and then a stinging tail. They're like
dingo?
Dinko.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay.
Sorbo, you need to make a launcher for them.
Yes, exactly.
Weaponize them.
But
I thought you were going to say something about training them, but no, launcher is a much better idea.
Yeah. Yes.
Some sort of pneumatic cannon to get them far from me.
Yes, exactly. And then finally, Bobkin, you notice Zag kind of see something and then get on his comlink real quick to Lena, and that's your successes. The threats come in the form of you are standing near Lena, and then when you look to where he was looking, you and this human was one of the two people, you lock eyes. So he now looks kind of to Lena and looks to you. So he knows you two are together. It appears. So that is the sum total of all of that perception.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, this way to the bar.
All right. So moving on to the bar, is there any particular thing that you're going to do on your way to the bar? You're going to try to throw these guys off? You're going to just keep walking like nothing's happening? What's going to happen?
I'm trailing one of them. Or at least trying to.
Okie doke. So
Walk along blithely.
Okay, so you're walking around blithely. So Zag, in order for you to trail them, you're going to need to make a stealth roll.
What's my difficulty, or is this just opposed?
I would say this is just opposed by the enemy. By the enemy. Okie doke. You beat them. You beat them, sir. They do not clock you at all. You do notice that they're taking good advantage of the cover in the market, so that the rest of the group does not really see them, but you see them seeing the group.
Is there like an insight? Are they looking menacing? Are they like looking like they're...
Here is what you get from the advantages. One of them, there's 4 of them in total now that you can see. 3 of them are actively tracking. 1 of them is on a comlink, communicating as he's following.
From stealth, how likely is it that I could shoot the comlink?
Ooh.
It is possible. It will be that will be a tough shot.
I'm aware.
Okay, it's going to be a tough shot. You can do it. It will start some shit in the marketplace.
I was gonna say, are we starting with a fight?
No, there's a. No, okay, you're right. I don't want to start the fire.
It'd be pretty cool.
No, I just want the comlink to just shoot across the marketplace.
Be pretty cool.
So I'm gonna try and use some Jedi powers.
Are you going to try to yank the comlink?
That'd be pretty.
Good.
That'd be pretty cool too.
Are you strong enough to push a person?
I think I am now.
He is now, yeah.
Okay. Well, given that we're in the cronies magnet, shove him into a security officer.
Is there a possibility that something like that could be planned?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on whether there's a security officer nearby. You can certainly shove them into a person that's near them. If you flip a destiny die, I will let you say there's a security officer right next to them, and you can do that.
Everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I'll do that.
Flipping a die.
And then I'm gonna roll for the powers.
Yep.
Come on, Zag.
Activate the power. No. You cannot do it.
That's not true. That's not what that says.
Okay, that's true. You can dip into the dark side to do it.
It's gonna be a little more forceful than it should have been. But yeah, I'm just gonna fling the dude into the security.
Okie doke. It's a little bit meaner.
Yeah, there's a lot more force to it.
Bobkin, you feel that. You feel Zag kind of dip into the dark side. He gets angry and a little bit vindictive and touch of nasty, and throws it over. So you push the guy into the other guy, and I'm going to flip that die right back because the other thing. So it works. The guy goes into the other guy, and he drops the comlink, and he's like scrambling for it, and watch it. And he kind of looks up, and it's like, sorry, sir, sorry.
Is there a chance I could try and get the com at that point?
Gonna need to roll me something pretty good to get that comlink.
Could I try for a stealth?
Yeah,
to just be part of the
you
crowd?
could. You could try for a stealth. Try for a stealth and
Okay.
try to do it. I would say that it's he's actively looking for it, so I would say it's because it's crowded.
Yeah.
A little balance of all the things. I'd say it's about 3. I'm going to say on balance it's 1 black because it's crowded, but also the crowd is going to make it difficult for you to do. So 1 black.
Okay, give me just a second. There was something I should have checked before I. Okay, here it goes. There you go.
Okay, 3 successes, 1 threat. That threat goes very nicely into the thing that I just flipped back that die for. So you grab the comlink, you get away. He's talking. His guys are distracted. Other people who are following are distracted by what's going on with the security officer. Security officer is like basically grabbed him by the lapel, like, "What's your problem?" And everything seems to be going just swimmingly. And Bobkin and Zag, you both have the impression, right at the edge of your consciousness, of someone becoming aware of you.
That's not great.
That's not good.
It's not close. It's not zooming in, but it's someone just felt a disturbance. So that's what you get.
Oh, fun.
You've got something's attention. Okay.
I'm gonna listen to the comlink though.
Okay. The comlink is. The comlink is just like it's yes, this is Koja. Hello?
They're on the move.
Who's on the move? You didn't get that far.
Still trying to figure that out.
Koja, you're all right.
Yeah, I'll get back to you. Just shut off the link.
Okay.
Is there any way to get that channel onto Sorbo? I'm gonna try and ditch up to Sorbo to get him the
Okay. So you very quickly catch up to Sorbo. Zach produces. Sorbo, you've been ignorant of this whole thing. Zach just produces
I've been watching this guy try and sell animals that no one wants.
Yeah.
Sorbo, Lana's being trailed.
Oh, Dinkos also bark like chihuahuas. That's the other thing they do.
So is there a way to, shut down?
There is a way to shut down. I'm not sure whether you actually. I think you do have that talent, so you can. He can't do it, but Zag can't. But you can. You can kind of mask the force.
Then do it.
Okay. So you do that. You close yourself down.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm from Zag. I am getting Lana's being tailed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So relay Zag.
Fine.
Yeah. Lana's being tailed by 4 guys with Bob Kid. Oh no, I don't know the Bob Kid side issue. I've got one of their radios. You sound more official.
I'm not talking.
No, but you can listen. Here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
He'll start listening in on their comms and stuff again, but he doesn't know their call and responses. He doesn't know what security phrases they've got set up. He is not saying word one for that night.
Yeah, neither did I.
Are you gonna continue listening?
Yeah.
Is it an obvious lie, Zag?
What?
When you say neither did I, is it an obvious lie or like a subtle lie?
Oh no, it's an obvious lie. He said something. He knows he did bad.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so tie it into his comlink so that he can try and keep an eye on them while he's also not doing this looking around for Lana because he doesn't want anyone else to notice that he's been alerted. He's just gonna start casually strolling through the market, maybe a little faster in that direction.
All right, it's a little faster in that direction.
I will wish this horribly PTSD covered man the best of luck selling his monsters.
Yes. Yes. All right, so you're going to pass up on the opportunity for free Dinkos? Okay, fine. All right.
I am.
Fair enough.
And free chihuahuas.
And free chihuahuas. All right. So you move on, so again, Zag, you guys continuing to listen in for anything on the comlink or what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sticking with Sorbo at this point.
The only thing you hear through the comlink before they hang up on their end of the line is, look, standard rates, but you have to give me specifics for information. And I remind you, we could get you picked up on any number of charges. Call me back when you have something. And that's that. That's all you get. So, the airlock. Hey, I get to use cantina noises again. Okay, so into the airlock you go. As you walk through the door, you get a number of turn the head and look at all of you entering in. Then they kind of go back to their business. You see the major feature in here is that, not surprisingly for an air world, a tank with water and someone swimming around in it is a big attraction. And indeed, she's the friendliest person in the bar and kind of waves at you from the water as you go in. It's a Nautilin who's in there. So you're in the bar, and the bartender kind of, if you're ordering, step on up.
Yeah. Step up.
And he kind of, he's very tall, and he kind of looks over. Yes? Are you old enough to drink in here?
Do you know how short I'd be if I wasn't?
Can't say that I do.
No. Really short.
Somebody in the bar goes,
Don't say.
"She'd be an egg." And there's a general laughter in the bar.
He's not wrong.
Well, what do you have?
What are you good at?
Oh, a challenge. And he'll go through a quick kind of asking you a couple of questions. Roll me a charm. Only one purple. This is actually not that difficult. Xerxes got 2 advantages. All right, well, so you don't exactly charm him, but he's amused enough by the situation and is interested in making an interesting drink, kind of to prove his own bona fides. That he seems to be relatively amenable to you. Mixes something up that looks a little bit fancy and blue and is in a long stemmed glass, and hands it down to you. Says, "Now don't spill it."
Well, you got a
To
lid?
the floor.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed that in the chatter.
But you got a lid?
He doesn't want me to spill.
And you exchange a couple of credits for it. You opening a tab?
Sure.
So you open a tab, spend a couple of credits on drink. It's spicy. It's a spicy drink. It's zesty. It's got some zip to it. Kind of a peppery ginger zip. Also got some slight carbonation. Very subtle.
Nice.
Like mead or something. So 2 credits, let's say. So you all are in there. You're still getting a couple of looks. You do not see Zeg, the other individuals coming through the door.
But we're, as far as I know, we're looking for a Wookiee, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Zag's gonna take point, actually, and not actually go into the bar.
Okay, fair enough. Folks, anyone who's interested will notice that Zag is not entering the bar. Bobkin, you particularly were aware that he was clocking some folks, so I don't know whether you want to be inside, outside, or what.
And then Sorbo, I'll also take the radio. If you want to go inside, so he'll just listen in.
And we go inside.
You're going to go inside. Sorbo, I assume you stick with Lena?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm not close enough that... I mean, I'm trying to stay far enough away that it's not obvious, but yes.
Hey, there's a Wookiee.
she's staying in eyesight.
Yeah,
Okay.
Can I
Okie
find
doke.
the Wookiee?
You just heard him. And in fact, you see a Wookiee arguing with some folks in, it looks like, near the back of the place. Do you want to just kind of walk up and say hi?
Can I get another one of these?
Sure. That'll be another 2 credits, please. You like it,
I
huh?
opened a tab.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You opened a 10. Sorry, my mistake. You're short. You're easy to forget. So he gives you another one.
Okay.
Don't drink those too fast,
Not both for me. Come on.
She'll walk over with the second one and just insert herself into the conversation and be like,
Okay. So you're kind of there with you're double fisted. You kind of walk over there like like walking in between this Wookiee who's talking to like these 2 humans, and after the while, the Wookiee kind of just like looks down at you, and the human goes, "This is a private conversation."
Oh, can you have it later? What? You're in public.
The human kind of looks at you incredulously, and the Wookiee's like, like just chuckles at that one. The human goes. One of the human I was talking to is like, "Who the hell are you?"
I'm Lena. I'd shake your hand, but I got drinks.
Are you? Are those your first drinks of the evening or the afternoon, or? Because that would explain a lot if you were already on your 3rd or 4th round.
Oh no, I'm always like this.
Great. I can't wait to see what you're like when you suck down a couple more of those. Anyway, yeah, we'll pick this up later.
Nice to meet you.
And the human stops for a second. So, wait, you want to talk to Grishil?
Yeah.
Then I'll have to translate. Unless you speak Wookiee.
Actually, I don't remember how to tell what languages anybody has.
What we said is that you could. We didn't define it up front, and the game doesn't define it up front. But it was basically based on your general education, your knowledge skills. Like if you have just knowledge, we can say we give everybody one free language. The only one I believe.
Basic and your racial.
Yeah.
This is gonna do the whole thing, or now I have to. Now it's gonna say perception, something else.
Wookiee.
Wookiee.
Tom had Hut and Wookiee.
Yes. Tom would be perfect in this situation.
He did get to talk to a Hut before he died.
He did get to talk to a Hut.
Hey, I'm trying to find that assassin to kill him for Thom.
Okay,
That is Zag's goal. He is out for revenge.
that's his goal.
Actually,
Like a good Jedi.
Yes.
Like a good Jedi. A good friend is there.
I just
Out for revenge.
would you be open to basically using perception to try and kind of get an inclination of what he's saying just based on tone and because she's mostly going to do the talking, right?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
she's there to help ask for his help. Yes.
I would say. I mean, if you want to get rid of the guy and say that's okay, I don't need him. I don't need you to translate.
Well, he'll understand me, right?
She
Yeah.
looks at the Wookiee.
Yeah, we'll be fine. Thank you.
Guy kind of just shakes his head, and walks away.
Hey,
Like across to the.
give him one of these and it can be on my tab.
And the bartender's like, gotcha. All
I'm
right,
gonna
so
go take 2 more credits off. Maybe I should have done this all at once.
yes. So Grishil is kind of looking at you quizzically, kind of trying to figure you out, and he's looking down, and eventually he's like, and then kind of just groans, and then kind of just gets down on his knee, just so he can look at you more normally.
So when he
Power
gets down on his
play.
knee, that's
Yeah.
when she'll hold the drink. Like,
Here you go.
That's funny.
Okay, he picks it and sniffs it more. Then shakes his head and kind of looks at the bartender like, "What are you serving?" And hands it back to you.
I don't know. I liked it.
Grishil kind of waves to the bartender, and then one of the serving droids comes over with a big tankard of some frothy, dark beverage. Which Grishil kind of he pulls up a short stool and sits down on it very awkwardly with his knees like up like this because it's a very short stool. He pulls it, pushes over another short stool for you, and then takes a big long swig of the ale, and just like the head of the ale is just kind of all over his whiskers. And you kind of
she'll take a significant drink of the first one because now she's got 2 she's got to go through. So. Sorry, someone's gonna have to remind me why we were talking to this guy first because I don't.
because he is well connected with all the pirates in the region, and he is an acquaintance from way back of Andro.
We're
Gotcha.
trying to get an introduction.
Gotcha. We want an introduction to the pirate, like king.
Yeah, but also want to put him back in touch with Andro potentially.
Gotcha. Okay. So she'll lean in kind of conspiratorially, which is gonna be fun for him.
Okay.
So, I have a favor to ask from an old friend of yours. Would you be willing to come talk to a, how do I put this,
Andro.
exiled prince?
Oh, very subtle.
And his
No one said I was subtle.
Yeah,
and his
no,
his
it's-
and his eyes go a little bit wide, and then he kind of looks around and he pantomimes.
Okay.
Let's see if you can get the pantomime.
He's not here. Back home? At summer home.
Scratches
Vacation?
his head.
Like, I don't know. Rich people are weird.
How did you get in contact with them?
Close.
Oh, no, it wasn't very far. I can drive. I mean, usually Sorbo doesn't let me drive. But...
I can't totally see your hands.
Oh, okay, so he's basically. Well, let's make it easy for you. Let's make a roll, and I think that this perception or something related to that. So let's try perception with I'd say 2 difficulty to try to figure out what the hell he's trying to pantomime with you.
2 success, 1 threat.
Okay.
Disgruntled Wookiee is the best.
Yes.
I'm too cute to be that mad at.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, you're getting a lot of leeway from that. He wants to know how you know him.
Mutual friends. Plus, kind of in the same industry as some of your other friends.
And he kind of like makes like he does a pirate hand sign.
Yeah, those guys.
He seems to be expecting a pirate hand sign in return.
Oh, I don't know them. Just do the same thing. Similar thing? Not for them.
All right, give me a charm roll.
Damn it.
What do you mean, damn it? Don't you got all kinds of...
I would say it's 2 purple with 2 black on this because of the language barrier.
Okay. I think that'll automatically take 1 out. There we go.
Okay. So
3 successes, 1
we had,
okay, she's clearly being way too loud about this because that threat
yes,
is adding up.
That's it. Threat is adding up. So the threat adds up. So let's see. Perception for everybody, but no, Lena too. Everybody in the bar. Everybody except Zag.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Difficulty?
Difficulty is 2. 2 purple. 1 black for Lena, I would say, probably, but that's all right. Don't worry about it.
We're all gonna die because she can't talk over.
Well, additionally, like
That kills that
perception,
advantage, just the success.
Yeah.
So our only person who has decent perception isn't here.
Yes.
What did you say?
Good perception.
Roll perception with 2 purple.
Oh, purple.
No. Sorry, I
Love
was
the
outside.
failure triumph.
Yeah.
Problems outside.
Okie doke. So let's see. We got it. So she has nothing. She just gets some more threat. So you're just kind of looking around like.
I had a success.
Oh, you success. Sorry, yeah, that's right.
1
Previous
success,
roll.
1 advantage.
Oh, right.
and
Sorry,
the
looking
black
at
guy had
the
a threat, so it's
looking at
just
the
a
wrong
success.
roll. So that's incorrect. Bob, can you have 1 advantage? And Sorbo, you have 1 failure, but 1 triumph. Sorbo, what would you like that triumph to be? I'll leave it up to you.
Honestly, I'm not sure I know because I still don't know. Like,
Let me give you a couple of examples of things that can be.
Understand Lena's like goal.
Go yes.
I'm not sure Lena understands Lena's goal.
I think the situation is why he doesn't know what to spend the triumph on.
That's
what is,
yeah,
what is he perceiving?
Yeah, so he's not perceiving anything. It's more. I guess it's not a. This is technically not a question that's so much for Sorbo as it is for Ben. Like, what in the absence of Sorbo knowing anything could he use the triumph for? So, for instance, the simple thing you could do would be to add the most basic mechanical thing would be to just add blue dice to Lena's next check or anybody else's next check.
I think I'm absolutely going to do that because I think Sorbo's so far out of his depth right now.
Yeah.
All he's doing is watching her back for immediate threats. He's not really like doing anything past that. So
Okay.
if he's missed that, I think it makes more sense for me to just mechanically toss that to her rather than trying to have it be some other thing that he's doing correctly because I don't think he is doing anything else correctly.
Okay. Yeah. So you're at the bar. You just kind of.
Sargo notices a dinko that imprinted on it.
I can print it.
It's been hanging on his backpack.
Taste of Sorbo's flesh.
Yes. Bobkin, you have no successes, but you have one advantage, which means I'm going to say that we'll put you in position to be, close to whatever needs to happen. So we could put another blue die over to Lena. So Lena, I'm going to say that to make the triumph worth it, we're going to give you 3 blue dice in whatever you decide to do. You see a number of individuals at a nearby booth in the bar. Again, sort of a mixed group of people kind of looking at over at the two of you.
Friends of yours?
Grishil looks over and shakes his head.
I don't really have a less noticeable setting. Can we go? Well, hang on.
And she'll kill the other drink.
Can we go somewhere else?
So you down the drink. Dink.
Yeah.
Grishil nods his head. So he stands up and kind of looks around. Is there any particular role you want to make in this situation? Do you want to try to evade them? Do you want to...
Yeah, I remember that I can do that.
What is the best thing that you can do in this situation? And remember, whatever you roll, you're going to get a significant number of blue dice. So
Yeah.
Not getting got is a good idea.
yeah.
That's a pose. Oh no, that's. I actually, to put the charmer to work. I don't know if this may or may not come back. They may not. They may just be like, I'm not going to deal with her. But she's going to turn and look at them and just grin. And
Okay.
I need an opposed charm check.
Okay. Very good.
Right.
Wow.
Okay. So roll me charm.
Have
And- Well, I got news for you. They're not going to beat that because it's mathematically impossible for them to do so.
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens? I mean,
So,
Zero successes for them.
so
that will lower all defenses of a target
Yeah.
by the ranks that I have in Disarming Smile, which is just 1, but
Mhm.
it lowers their defenses by 1
yeah. Okie doke.
for until the end of the encounter. So I'll leave that up to you where that.
Yeah.
This assumes you're in combat, but I'll leave it. to you.
It assumes you're in combat, but because they hadn't yet initiated combat. I mean, good lord, with that many.
They were thinking
So-
about it.
One of them. Here's what happens. Here's what happens. One of them, like who's sitting at the booth, goes goo. Just kind of looks at you. I kind of
I don't usually get that response.
Yeah, exactly. And they kind of one of them kind of pushes one of the others out and is like, and kind of walks up to Grishil and says, Grishil, just so you know, we're good. And if and like we said before, I know there was that whole thing before, but if you want any help on if you're putting something new together, we're available. That's all I came to say. And you know,
Bye.
so yeah,
What do you do?
the Wookiee kind of pats the guy on the head and gives him the thumbs up, and kind of turns him around. Grishil makes a pantomime to you like 2 guns,
Yeah.
like hired guns.
Yeah, yeah. So just actually just point.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright.
Noted.
Wow.
So the way I'm interpreting that, it basically is that instead of people being after you with that role, they might be willing to sign up as hired guns. They're amenable to being hired. They actually weren't trying to threaten you. They were hoping to get a job opportunity.
All right.
So that's how
With that smile.
that's how I'm looking at that. So I'm looking at that.
The Charmer tree has the like funniest names to the talents. That one was actually Disarming Smile.
Yes. My logic is they know that Grishil has a rep. You look completely harmless, so they're not worried that like the people that usually come to Grishil are like have like numerous scars, you know, an eye missing, you know, something like that. It's like, well, she can't be bad. Whatever she's hiring him to do. So
She seems nice.
yeah, she seems nice.
It's his long lost adopted
Yeah,
niece.
Alina.
Yes.
Nice.
So that's how we interpret that.
Long lost.
Very good.
And then meanwhile, yes. So Zag, you are outside waiting. You see those 4 come by, and they are just kind of waiting outside. And I know we're kind of near the end here. So where I wanted to leave it is that as Grishil and the rest emerge from, and oh, by the way, are the rest of you following Lena and Grishil, or are you going to stay in the bar?
Oh, no, with her.
You're following.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're following along. And so they all come.
How obviously?
Yeah, it's a question
not
for them.
Very subtly.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
yeah,
so
like
we walk out and like these 3 guys just turn to walk out.
Yeah. This is like these guys are like the Suicide Squad in the bar. Like it's not subtle. It is not subtle.
I think the only thing I'm going to do is figure out next time.
Yeah. We're wrapping up. So as the group comes out with them, Zag, they kind of look around and then kind of very suddenly become interested in nearby market stalls. They're basically like, oh, that's a lot more people than we thought we were dealing with. So that is the story of that.
They should go and check out the pet store down there.
Yes, indeed.
I was gonna say if there's one by himself, I want to be close to him before this session ends.
Okay. It is unlikely there will be one by himself.
With some space, like I'm not talking to like, you know, I want to try and give one away, but that's
what I think we will do in the interest of time is next time we will pick up with Grishil and you all meeting in a more secure location, potentially with Andro, and then just pick it up from there.
okay.
So that's where we'll have it next time, and that will end the session for today. And we will pick it up from there when next we join us. All right.
So look, we got our little like dramatic swipe. We
Yes.
like walk out of the bar and it goes to
Exactly. It's just yeah.
Transition.
Yep. You got the Star Wars transition. So there's your swipe, and away we go. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.